Trainer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The time to talk is just about over, but I will say that as we are the people's voice, and this is a travesty of a people's budget that we're working on, we're not going to quiet the people. In summation, what have we seen today? 20 minutes before we got to the floor, we were given a multi-page bill that changes the state budget that has impacts for years to come on the most vulnerable people in the state. The good sponsors started this conversation off by saying, well, we had to do that because the governors were just spending reductions. Okay, the governor had spending reductions. Then these are your cuts. Those children with disabilities that parents now are going to have to leave the state for them to get the services they need, those are yours. Those are your cuts. Those aren't the folks that don't vote for him. You vote for this budget, which is what this is, that we've had very little time to read. You know, over the last few years, we've heard on our side of the aisle under the previous administration talk about, you know, how at the federal level, oh, they don't do their job right because they push through legislation that they don't read. Well, what are we doing here, folks? This is one of the larger bills that this body, this specific group of people have seen, and we're going to pass this on, and we're going to solidify cuts that will affect families across this state. The governor, in a good faith effort, came forward, as was negotiated and talked about, to build a framework. That framework included the $75 million in spending reductions that he put forward and committed to doing yesterday. But we hear today we're doing this because apparently we have a trust issue. But now we're asked to step forward and trust in a very short amount of time through a measure of terrible government to pass a budget that's going to solidify things that literally hurt people. We won't play part to that. You're not going to see a vote on this side of the aisle that's going to be a part of these cuts. These are your cuts. And as a person whose family is directly impacted by these cuts, I'm appalled. These are your cuts, not the governors, not the legislatures. These are your cuts.